It's like officially crisp and cool, and leaves are starting to change. So I'm happy.
That sounds beautiful. I love the sound of that. I should be visiting next week actually. So
Oh,
really
nice.
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Hang on. I'm just gonna try Roddy, and then we can
Amazing.
send request. Come on. How was your week, Ayah?
Very well, thanks. I'm visiting one of my dear friends in upstate New York and enjoying the fall weather.
Welcome.
Thank you.
We're just talking about our weeks.
Oh, how's yours been?
Good. I was sharing that it feels like fall in New York, where I'm based. I actually live in Brooklyn, but it's been in the 50s. Like, people are wearing fuzzy jackets in the park. So I love
the best.
well, before we get into it, because clearly we all have much to talk about and are fast friends, I just want to introduce who we have here today and welcome all of the women's health readers who are joining us. Hello, everybody. My name is Liz Plosser. I'm the editor-in-chief of Women's Health, and I am so excited because we're having a little kickoff event this afternoon to give you a taste of what to expect in our upcoming Women's Health Breakthroughs Festival, which is happening later on in October. It's going to be awesome. And so today we're going to be talking all about breakthroughs and a little inspiration. Hopefully you're feeling some of those fall vibes and energy in the air. And I am joined by three amazing experts and friends of mine. So we're just going to have a little chat today. First, I want to introduce Jay Shetty. Jay is the author of Think Like a Monk, the #1 New York Times bestseller. Jay is also like the wisest, coolest, smartiest guy. And I have been super lucky because I have gotten to collaborate times this month. So this is like truly a dream that we get to hang out again today. So welcome, Jay.
Thank you.
Welcome. I want to introduce Roddy. Say hi, Roddy. Roddy Shetty is another one of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. She's got a different vibe than Jay, but she's all about wellness in her own way. Roddy loves to cook. She's a plant-based chef. She's got a super intense, amazing, beautiful passion for well-being, which she shares with all of her followers. And she and Jay just launched their tea company, Sama, which is awesome. I am loving seeing all the beautiful ways you're talking to people about adding tea rituals into their lives. So please look out for that. It's amazing. And then finally, my friend Ayah, can I truly say that Ayah and I go way, way back? Ayah has been in the fashion industry for a long time, holding some really amazing jobs. She oversaw fashion and style for Cosmo, for Women's Health. She was a Women's Health contributor for many years. Ayah is the former editor-in-chief of Mary Claire, and she currently is at Penn. She has the huge, amazing job of overseeing all of editorial and content partnerships and working on strategy. So Ayah also lives in Brooklyn with me and has a young daughter who is adorable. And I also adore Ayah's Instagram for keeping it real for, you know, working mom, juggle it all, sometimes looking cute, sometimes whatever, just doing amazing. I am so lucky to get to lead this conversation today. So thanks for being here. I'm going to start with a question about breakthroughs because we are doing this to give people a little sneak peek of what to expect in the festival. So it occurs to me, even as we were coming on together, that all I can think about is that it feels like fall is in the air, and it's October 1st. So if you ever needed a reason to like turn the page and start fresh and think about what you want to do differently, I think the start of a new month is a great opportunity to do that. But Jay, I know because we've talked about this on and offline, there are some more subtle cues that it might be time to turn the page and think about if you need a breakthrough in life. So I'm wondering if maybe you can explore with us what some of those signs might be that aren't like October 1st or the start of a season or January 1st or Monday. What else can we think about in our lives?
Yeah, I think first of all, Liz, I want to thank you and Women's Health for doing this. I think it's such a beautiful excuse for all of us to connect and talk about such meaningful things, and for your incredible community to have an opportunity to think about their own breakthrough, something that we don't always make time for. And it's a pleasure to meet you, Ayah, as well. I'm so glad to connect with you. And Roddy, I saw you earlier, and I'll see you later too. When I think about breakthroughs, I really think about it coming from within. It comes from our emotional state of being. And so some of us may have been feeling for a long time now that we've just kind of been doing the same thing. Maybe it works sometimes, it doesn't work sometimes, but we're just repeating a pattern. And that pattern now seems to have less and less value in our life. That's a reason for a breakthrough. You've tried this pattern. I'll give you an example of my own. During the pandemic, I got into a pattern of watching TV every night, which is not something that I did before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks ago, I decided I'm no longer subscribing to this pattern. I'm going to unsubscribe from this pattern because I don't like how it makes me feel anymore. It was useful at a certain time. So that's one thing. The second way of thinking about a breakthrough is you may have a passion. You may have learned a new skill during this time. You may have been reading about a particular topic. You may have been doing lots of courses. You may have been reading a particular magazine and learning about an area that you're fascinated by, that you're becoming obsessed with. That's a great reason for a breakthrough. It's coming through something positive. It's coming through something that's activating you. And the third and final thing that could potentially cause a breakthrough is pain, is pressure, is loss. Maybe you've been through something really challenging and terrible, but that has lit a spark inside of you where you feel that you want to help other people have a breakthrough. You want to help other people remove their suffering. You want to live a life of purpose and service. And so whichever category you're in, it doesn't matter. But the point is that any of those can be great reasons for a breakthrough.
Thank you. I love that. And that is very much in line with how women's health thinks about pain, suffering, challenges, that it's rough when you're in it, but through that darkness, there's the other side. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Roddy, I want to turn it over to you. First of all, I don't think I mentioned this in the intro, which is maybe for the best. But you and Jay are married. You guys are like the cutest couple ever. I love watching you two together. You guys are, and I love that you guys are playing it very cool. I love that. Love that you're out too. I hope are you in LA right now? Or are you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Looks like a beautiful day there. So I wanted to talk to you about the launch of your company, which you and Jay are in partnership on, but to me it feels like your baby. Was that a breakthrough for you? Was that something you learned during the pandemic, or can you take us through that?
Absolutely. I never really saw myself as a business person. Like, I've never thought of myself having a business mind or someone who would ever think about even creating something of my own. And it was really beautiful for me because during the pandemic, I actually started so many different things. I decided that I had no more excuses, no excuses of traveling, no excuses of running after Jay wherever he's going. And I decided that I was going to do what I really wanted to do, but almost had all of those excuses as a safety net of not taking that next step. So I started my website where I literally created like 80 recipes over the period of like 2 weeks, because I just decided that nothing else matters. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to share with people. And I'm just going to take the leap and do it. And then we started Sama, and Sama has just been, I've learned so much along the way. It's been something which I've convinced myself for years and years that, oh, you're not good at like finance. You're not good at business. You're not good at this, that, and the other. So many different things that I had convinced myself of. And being put into that position where Jay said he wanted to create something together, it's really, I had to break through a lot of my own negative thought patterns. I had to break through a lot of my own limitations that I had put on myself. And it was honestly the best thing ever. Like, it took so much learning. It took so much listening and understanding of things that so many people had to teach me about it. But it also allowed me to explore what I had to offer. Like, what was I giving to this company? And Jay was giving something different. I was giving something different. But it just showed me how beautiful it is, and also how every single person has a specific role. And if you are just able to nurture your strengths, you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. So that was also a huge breakthrough for me. I feel like it's been a lots of different breakthroughs throughout this pandemic for me.
Awesome. That's such a cool story, and it's so cool seeing how you and Jay bring your individual talents and energy perspective to the project. So I wish you much luck with it.
Thank you.
Ayah, I'm gonna pass it on over to you for a minute. I know because we used to work together in the pandemic. Speaking of breakthrough moments, feel like you could go all over the place, whether it's professional or personal breakthroughs you've had or learned from. But what comes to mind for you when this topic comes up? Where do you want to go?
I think that, you know, there are some breakthroughs in life that are seismic, right? You feel like the earth beneath you is actually moving, whether it is or not, right? So that might be getting married or having a baby or changing jobs, like, right? All of those things you feel like, oh my goodness, I woke up one day and everything is different. That said, and one of the things I've learned a lot from reading Jay's books is that, like, actually all of those big changes, there were a lot of small steps that you took to get you there that you can really only see in the rear view, you know, because that's just, I mean, for better and for worse, like, life is all about changing, and breakthroughs, once we stop having them, it's no longer interesting, right? So we want to have all of those things, even when it's like so hard, right? Like, even when you're going through a breakthrough that is tragic in your life, that like that, those are the feelings that you have for being human. And that has been really important for me, is to, when a major moment is happening in my life, like a career change or getting married or having baby, all those things, I actually am able to look back and really see what were the small things that happened or actions that I took to get me there.
Cool.
Love that.
I know Jay. Yeah, Jay, do you want to piggyback on that? Because I feel like you addressed this in your book, and it's something that we've talked about too.
Well, no, I think that was so beautifully articulated. I was just agreeing with you completely. And I think when we think of any breakthrough, even the word, it feels so big, and it feels like this momentous occasion, and it feels like you have to do something huge. And the truth is, as I said, it's far more, the recipe is far more a lot of small incremental steps that have kind of been doing it for years and years and years. And it's, you know, when you think about something breaking negatively, things don't break in a day. They break because maybe the sun was hitting that object in a certain place for a certain amount of time, or a little piece of water snuck into a crack and then it froze, and then that item broke. So even breaking in a negative way, it doesn't just happen overnight. It happens over a period of time. And so breakthrough in a positive way is the same thing. So you don't have to think about, like, what's the big thing I want to do in my life? You just have to ask, what's the one thing I feel inspired to do today? Or what's the one thing I want to move towards or take a step towards today? And I think that's really where breakthroughs begin. So breakthroughs begin by just taking action in the smallest, simplest, most organic and natural way to you right now.
So true.
Cool. Love that. And that feels doable, which is, you can wrap your head around that. Jay, last time we talked, you know that this topic resonated with me very much. We were talking about when you're ready for a breakthrough, or you know what that big thing is, and yes, you need to take those small incremental steps to get. And so I'm not going to say what your answer was, because I'm curious how Ayah and Roddy feel about this, and I want to see if there are different perspectives. But there, you hear a lot like, sing it from the rooftop, speak your truth out loud. You know, what is your dream? What is your vision? Like, share it far and wide. And I'm curious, did Ayah and Roddy, have you found that to be effective in your life, or is there a different way? Ayah, you work on a social media platform, so perhaps you have that perspective. But, you know, I mean, I will stop talking after this. I shared very publicly on Instagram my goal last year to get 10 pull-ups, and then kind of tracked my progress over the course of the year, which was a humbling experience. I almost didn't make it, but I did. There was something about that accountability. That's a little bit of a different thing. That's like a goal as opposed to change careers, or I want to launch a business, or I have an idea for a book. But I want to get your thoughts. Like, is there a support network you should evoke? Is it all your social media followers? How do you approach that? Roddy, do you want, oh, sorry, go ahead, Ayah.
Go ahead, Ayah.
Oh, I'll make this one quick because I feel really strongly about it, is that I have seen on my own personal channels, and I work with tons of content creators, including Jay and many others via the content we're creating for Pinterest. And we have seen, and the data shows, that the people who create content that is inspiring, educational, and I always like to use the word generous, right? You're trying to give something to the audience that they are curious about and want to learn more about. That is honestly the magic recipe of how sharing on social, no matter what platform you are on, that's how it resonates with users, right? Because you are taking people's time, right? When you're creating content, putting it out there in the world, it might be free content, and that's a wonderful thing, but that free content, the price tag is people's time, and they will spend their time on your content if that generosity of spirit, that giving, that educational element, that inspiration is there.
Thanks. I feel like I should take notes with those words.
Mm-hmm.
Words more time for everybody at home who's like, wait, what?
And so it's like, you really think about it. Anytime you're sharing something on any platform, you have to think about, like, what am I giving to this audience? What will these people be able to take away into their own lives?
Cool. So inspiring, educational, generous. Love it. Super, super helpful. Thank you. Roddy, I'm going to you.
Yeah, sure. No, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. You know, that's something that I personally, every time I'm sharing things, even if it's in a way of like, even if it's nothing inspirational, and I'm just like, I want to make people laugh today because I know I needed to laugh today, or I want to help people. I've had, I don't know, a cold sore the other day, and I was like, let me share that with people and share how I got rid. You know, it can be as small as that, which makes a huge difference to other people's lives in some way, or it can be something that's really heartfelt and something that you've really been struggling with. For me, I think, you know, I have two takes on it. Sometimes I feel during the process, I need to protect my energy. And I think there are different types of people. There are some people who can feel extremely nourished by a lot of eyes on them and a lot of opinions. And I know friends who will go to 15 people to ask the same question. And then there's people like me who, like, I will maybe ask one person, or I will internalize it and I will try and figure it all out myself. And then if I need to, I will go out to an external source. And so I don't think either of them are good or bad. I personally feel that it depends on what nourishes you. Every single day, if you're trying to get up and you're trying to do something that you want to do in life, does having external opinion, does having interaction with other people fuel you, or does it drain you? And I think that for me has really been, and you know what, some days it changes for me. There are some days I really feel like posting like 10,000 stories about all the things that I'm thinking about and feeling, and other days where I feel like I just need to be on my laptop and I just need to think and I need space to myself. And so I think it's I feel for me it's been a balance of the two, and understanding when tuning into my body and understanding when is the time for which one. But yeah, that's how I tackle it at the moment.
Cool. I love that it's not a clear-cut answer, and it's hour to hour. Like,
yeah.
It's gonna evolve. All right, Jay. Now I want to pass it off to you.
Oh, do you want me to share what I said before, or?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, just
yeah, I'll give a remix. Yeah.
Stuff about this. Everyone will see in the Breakthroughs Festival coming up this week. But I find this fascinating because I think there's like confusion and like, what do I do next? Wait, I'm supposed to tell everyone, right? I should call my mom and tell her, right? But the answer, and to Roddy's point, it differs by person and by your energy, etc. But I appreciated your perspective very much. So do you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So I found that, you know, when I lived as a monk, when we talked about prospective ideas or new opportunities, often they were kept not secret, but kept in the company of those who could help make it happen. Because you wanted to keep the energy of an idea sacred.
Yeah.
And often what happens is when you expose an idea to too many people, that idea starts to have lots of energies coming at it. So now you have the energy of envy, you have the energy of fear, you have the energy of insecurity, you have the energy of stress. And what ends up happening is that you share an idea hoping that people are going to say, yes, you have to do this. This is the best decision of your life. And 99% of the time, most people you speak to are going to say, I don't think that's smart. That sounds scary. Don't do that. That's going to ruin your life. Like, that's a bad decision. And I think I know this because I see this in the comments of my community that say, Jay, my parents don't believe in my dreams, or Jay, my wife or my husband doesn't understand what I'm trying to do, or Jay, my friends are always laughing at me, right? I see and hear this on social media all the time. And what we have to realize is that that person, it's not that they don't love you. It's not that they don't care about you. It's that somewhere inside of them, you've triggered a response. And so I find it, for me personally, more fulfilling to share it with people who are going to help me make that dream come true. And the truth is, you don't know. You could bump into someone tomorrow that could have helped you and you didn't tell them. But I prefer to keep the energy of an idea sacred and allow it to grow from there. It's almost like saying, if you're planting a new seed in your garden, you don't just let everyone walk around it and trample all over it. And you don't just pour all the different types of drinks on it. You water it, you let the sun come to it, and then that's it, right? It doesn't need everything in the world. You simplify how to nurture it daily.
Thank you, Jay. That was awesome. And we'll talk about this in greater depth around this month. This is interesting to folks at home. Please come back for more. All right. This time goes so fast when I'm with you. I kind of close out by asking each of you a question that is inspired, yes, by the changing of seasons and it's fall. Thing that we have learned at Women's Health is the power of ritual in your wellness routine for your well-being. And that can look different for can and should look different for everybody, which is beautiful. So you guys know I'm obsessed with mornings. I talk about them all the time. I just wrote a book about mornings. We're also obsessed with evening routines. We have a column called The Wind Down in Women's Health. So can you guys talk, it could be a current ritual or even one you maybe want to implement as you're kind of embracing the new season. And what's one thing you do for your personal well-being to fill you up every morning? And what's something you do every evening? And Ayah looks like she's thinking. Who wants to go first? I'll let you guys.
I think Jay's always ready, so go on.
Go for
I would say, so my current one that I'm really enjoying is I'm trying to read a chapter of a book a day that I'm reading.
Nice.
And it's less about finishing the chapter and more about the book I'm reading. And so I've been reading a book called The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle, which is all about how to create amazing culture in teams and inside companies and organizations, because I want to improve as a leader and become better for my teams. And so that's been a book that I've been reading, been thoroughly enjoying it. And the other thing that is a really underestimated habit, and that's a wind down habit, by the way. And I find that looking at a page makes me sleep better. It completely switches me off from my phone, so I'm not on technology. You know, it's really got me into a good routine. The other one that I think is underestimated, and I don't know if we do it enough, is I really like just staring into the distance. So whether you go on a hike or whether you found a way to be on a balcony or you even just go outside and you look at the sky, you look for birds, you look for tops of trees, whatever you can. I just find that looking far into the distance is so healthy for the mind, because right now all we do is look at things really up close, right? Everything's right in front of us. And so I find that for mental clarity, for stillness, for space, I like to look into space. So I found that to be a really healthy, and it's free, it's easy. You don't have to learn a new technique. You don't have to build a new habit. You literally just have to go outside, take a big breath and look into space.
I'm going to try that tomorrow. I love it.
Can I just jump in, because it's part of it's related to what Jay is saying, and this is something that has mattered so much to me, and it based on what he's saying, it's I think it's called 2020. So for every 20 minutes that you're looking at your computer or your screen, you look in the distance for 20 seconds.
Wow.
I mean, and we all have 20 seconds in between calls or whatever
Yeah.
you are doing. Come on, you have 20 seconds. So for every 20 minutes, look out the window, look in the distance. Try not to look at the wall, but like looking out the window and having your eyes see far, as Jay is describing, has been really meaningful. And it's simple, it's free, as Jay said.
Mm.
I
Awesome.
love that, Aya. 2020 is great. That's awesome.
2020. Mine would have to be, I have quite a few, but one has to be breath work. It has been something that has saved me through my emotional ups and downs during the pandemic. It has been something that has helped my anxiety being away from my family. It's been something that has calmed me, like uplifted me during my sadness and calmed me down through my excitement. And I think, you know, breath really is the link to our emotions. It's also the link between our mind and our body to bring us into a present moment. And so for me, whenever I find like I really suffer from my physical body being in one place and my mind being in a completely separate place. And so for me, taking breath has become something, whether it's through exercise, whether it's through working, whether it's through conversations that are tough. Breath has helped anchor me back to my present moment and help me just reconnect to myself. And I really think it's so powerful to learn how to breathe, and breathwork can really help you to, you get to control your emotions versus your emotions being in control of you. And that, and positively speaking to myself. That's been something every morning, just sharing something positive about myself, or just that today's going to be better than it was yesterday. And like just having that positive affirmation in the morning that creates a better perspective for you to go through the rest of the day.
Cool. Love those. I'm so glad you mentioned breath work. I had a personal snafu yesterday, and my heart rate was like, I don't know, at 200 beats per minute. Felt like I need to reset my nervous system, and I have to take some deep breaths because this isn't gonna regulate without a little help. I'm curious on your positive affirmations. Do you write them down in a journal, or is it like a dialogue in your brain? Or
honestly a dialogue in my brain, because what I was noticing was I actually had a lot of negative, like every time I got to something I was doing, I was like, oh, I don't have enough time for this. Or, and I would change that to something which is like, oh, I'm going to make time for this, or there is enough time, I just need to be able to like prioritize better. Or whether it's about just I think now being hopeful is such a powerful thing. Creating a mindset of things will be better. If we don't have hope and we don't have faith in the better, then it really dampens our enthusiasm for life. And so actually whenever I find my mind getting into a negative space, I find a way to, even if it's something unrelated, I'll find a way to really bring something a little bit more sweeter into my language than I naturally would.
I love that. Thank you. Yes, all for hope. I agree.
Yes.
Other rituals. Thank you for the 2020 rule. That is awesome. Try it. But anything else you do to start or end your day that you feel like really nourishes your personal well-being?
That's the small thing that I do. And then I would say just, as you do as well, spending time with my family. So that's the most meaningful part of my day.
I love that. Yes. I feel like I have 3 S's every day. Some sweat, because I love to work out. That helps me. Some sun, to your point about looking into the distance. There's so much awesome science about getting sunlight, even if there are clouds out. It's very powerful to make you feel more alert and to boost your mood. And then lastly, with my 3 little children, my husband Matt, or my adorable giant puppy Willa. So all those things feel really great. And honestly, I think what we're talking about with the rituals is when you're taking care of yourself like that, you're like primed to have breakthrough moments, and you're in touch with how you're feeling and know when it's start taking those tiny steps. So it's all interwoven.
Absolutely.
Completely.
Amazing. Well, Jay, Ayah, Roddy, thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Close out my work week. I'm going to go into the weekend with the best vibes. I hope everybody who logged on to hang out with us learned a lot and that you feel inspired and that you go and have an absolutely amazing Friday night and a wonderful weekend. And please sign up for the Breakthroughs Festival. You can sign up at just go to breakthroughs with an S festival.com. Tickets are free, or you can level up to get some gifts from our sponsors. But we hope to see you there. There's lots more amazing content and programming from Jay, from Roddy, from Ayah, and tons of other amazing people. So you guys, I love you so much. It's a joy to hang out.
Nice to meet you, Ayah.
Bye.
Thank you
See you
so
all
much.
soon.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks, Ayah.
Thanks for being on with us. All right, talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.